Recently, there was a homegrown terrorist attack in Kerala. Now, this attack used IEDs. First, let me explain what happened. So, there was a certain individual who felt that a certain religious sect was not doing right by the country and was anti-national in its nature. Instead of raising his concerns with the authority, thinking that the authorities would not take action given the fact that there was a religious angle involved, this individual took matters in his own hand and ended up planting IEDs and creating multiple blasts. Now, this is where we need to be concerned. This is where we need to understand that education is important, but too much knowledge can also be dangerous. Let me first show you what exactly am I talking about, right? So, this is what happened. So, in this place, there was a blast, right? Rather, not a singular blast, but multiple blasts. And this person, Dominic Martin, was the one who created and planted these IEDs. Now, this is a serious issue because you would have heard the concept of IEDs being referred to when you talk about terrorism in J&K, when you talk about terrorism in the northeast, but you would have not heard about IEDs somewhere in Kerala or other places. Homegrown terrorism is a major problem which the Indian government has been trying to avoid for decades together. Why? Because there have been a lot of famous standoffs in the United States with respect to homegrown terrorism. And homegrown terrorism is scary because it's not easily identifiable. See, the easy part of counter-terrorist operations when you talk about J&K or Northeast is that your opponents, right, the terrorists, you know how they look. You know they are different. You know where they are coming from. The problem is when you talk about homegrown terrorism, right, they are your daily citizens. They would act like an everyday person till the time it's time for them to act, to cause destruction, to cause something like this, which is why we all need to stay alert. Firstly, let's understand the concept of IEDs. Do note that in this video, nowhere am I going to explain you how to build an IED, right? And it is out of pure safety reasons. Don't try to search for it. It's not something you should look into, right? So let's understand what are IEDs. The full form of IED is improvised explosive devices, right? Or an improvised explosive device. Now, why do the terrorists use IEDs, right? If you have seen government ammunition or the military ammunition, a lot of it is made to ensure that people are aware that this ammunition can cause issues, can cause death or damage to them, right? When you talk about an IED, IEDs are made in such a way that they are not identifiable easily. A phone can be an IED, a toilet flush can be an IED, a table can have an IED, a trigger, right? And the issue is IEDs are placed in a way where they would seem to fit in. But the thing is, they never fit in, and that is something that people need to understand. We have gotten complacent with respect to security on a lot of levels, which is a scary part. Right? Every time there is an attack, every time there is an issue like this, where there's a blast, or there's a firing, people suddenly become scared. People suddenly start taking precautions. But as soon as the threat is over, as soon as some time passes, we become complacent. Right? I have seen a lot of people who laugh at the announcement in your Mumbai locals, right? That in case you see any object which should not be there, you should inform the security forces. It's not something to laugh at because that can actually be an ID. Right? So an ID is a daily looking object which has explosives attached to it, and generally the aim of an ID comparatively to probably a landmine is that IDs are uncontrolled blasts. Like, the person making them does not have the required scientific knowledge to have a controlled blast. So it may so happen that you end up the bomb ends up killing people instead of maiming them, right? When you compare it to mines, right, with the military mines that exist, they are made with a specific result in mind, and generally that is to maim or injure the soldiers instead of killing them altogether, right? So basically the whole point of this video is to make you understand the concept of IDs, make you understand the concept of homegrown terrorism, and to make you aware that don't take security briefings lightly, don't take these security announcements lightly, because they are very important.